So, the first SmackDown Live of 2019 happened last night, and you know what? All things considered, it was a pretty good show. It had some very good matches. It had one very, very angry boy. It had one very, very preachy boy. It had a dejected husband coming to terms with his injured wife, and it had one hell of a stare down to end the show. So, all things considered, I think it's pretty fair to say that 2019 started pretty well for the Blue brand in the WWE. But before we jump to any major conclusions, it's that time of the week where we like to look back at what happened on SmackDown Live. I've been the smarkiest smart that ever did smark, and this is SmackDown Live. So, for the second night in a row, we opened a WWE show without the authority, without a boring ass promo, without the ring, and without a crowd. We're backstage, we're starting off. Now, I did say without a crowd, slightly different as it was on Raw, as this week we started off in the concessions area with a load of fans getting drinks, being shouted at by this guy. Yes, Daniel Bryan was at it again, preaching his lifestyle and how we are all so very wrong. He worked his way around a number of fans, telling them how they were all wrong for what they were eating and drinking, even throwing food and drink at some of the fans, and then working his way through the crowd, to the arena, to the ring, all the time preaching about how the world was wrong and the world was dying because of us. It was Mr. R-Truth himself who jumped Daniel Bryan as Daniel Bryan attempted to get into the ring as a little bit of revenge for what has been said in previous weeks. But that was not the end of the matter, as well as we came back from the break, Daniel Bryan and R-Truth are going at it in which was a pretty decent match for SmackDown. Now, of course, Daniel Bryan got the win here. He's not going to lie down for R-Truth, but you know what? It's 2019 and R-Truth is facing off against the WWE Champion on an opening match on SmackDown Live. 2 years ago, you'd have laughed me out of the building if I'd have said that. Well played to R-Truth. Great match to open SmackDown. The second match of the night was one hell of a random tag team match, but my God, am I glad that we got it. Rey Mysterio teamed with Mustafa Ali to take on Samoa Joe and Cien Almas. 4 men that were already announced for the Royal Rumble. 4 men who probably aren't going to win the Royal Rumble, but my God, they'll make it entertaining if this match is anything to go by. There was great spots, there was energetic spots, there was near falls, there was everything you would want in a random ass tag team match, up to and including a fucking Canadian destroyer. Okay, wasn't technically a Canadian destroyer, was more like a sunset pile driver, but a pile driver-esque move in 2019 in WWE. Even referenced by the commentary team as a pile driver. Maybe this new era really is happening. So, the Usos took on the Bar next, and if the Usos get the win, they will receive a tag team title shot at the Bar. Pretty standard stuff for WWE, especially for a SmackDown tag team division that has been repeating itself more than Stone Cold Steve Austin in a What promo. The match was fairly good. The Usos looked to have the W in the bag when Mandy echoed from the PA system, and Corey Graves' favourite person in the world did manage to walk down the ramp covered in a towel. Teenage boys, look away now. Anyway, she came out and said that she was having some trouble with her outfit, with her attire, and she needed Jimmy Uso's help. This distracted him just long enough for the Bar to pick up the victory and retain, but that isn't the major story here, is it? What on earth is going on with this Mandy Rose thing? You're about to hear me say some things, and it sounds like I'm quite angry about it, but you know what? I'm kind of on board. Mandy Rose is rumoured to be one of Vince's top prospects for the future of the women's division, purely because of how she looks, I'm guessing. But you know what? She isn't as bad as people make out. Why not give her a prominent story? The Usos probably aren't going to getting near the tag team championships anymore, with The Miz and Shane McMahon getting their shot. More on that in a little bit. And the New Day versus The Bar being done to death. So the Usos really haven't got anything to do. This story with the whole Mandy trying to get on Jimmy, Naomi being annoyed by it, something new and fresh, and you know what? I'm kind of on with it. As long as this has got a payoff at the end, it's all good by me. Speaking of this story though, it did continue slightly later on when Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were walking backstage after she was bragging about what she did to her friend, only to get jumped by Naomi. It took Jimmy Uso himself to pull Naomi off of the two and drag her away screaming. Good thing is about this, I can't tell you where it's going to go. We're probably going to get Naomi versus Mandy Rose. Is Jimmy Uso actually interested in Mandy Rose? What the hell is going on? Your guess is as good as mine, folks. Coming back to the Miz and Shane McMahon. Earlier on in the night, Miz had basically asked Shane to sort of slyly get them a tag team title shot because he is the McMahon. But Shane said, no, we need to challenge our competitors and work our way up. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to do it my way. But the Miz took that completely the wrong way. He walked out to the ring at the end of the aforementioned tag team match and challenged the Bar straight up. The Bar responded with a bro kick to the face, and later on in the night we discovered the Miz took that as a yes. What? Anyway, Shane McMahon did take some talking, but he did come round in the end, and the two of them are going to go after the tag team championships at the Royal Rumble. Hands up if you care about this. Yeah, that's what I thought. Assuming this is going to turn on one of them turning on the other one, and we're leading to some sort of singles match, possibly at Fastlane, maybe even at Mania? I don't know, but you know what? Both of these guys could be doing a lot better on the show. Not impressed here. Rusev is out next, and he is very, very dejected and down, as last week his love, his pride and joy, the one thing in the world that means most to him, his wife Lana, got crushed by the full weight of a Shinsuke Nakamura face, basically. He comes out and he said that this is Nakamura's fault. He's going to get back at Nakamura. He's not here as a champion or as a superstar. He's here as a husband out to seek revenge for his injured wife. Nakamura comes on the screen. He's in the production truck for some reason. He turns around, he looks at the camera and says, this isn't my fault, this is your fault, and I can prove it. He shows the footage from last week. It's kind of your fault, Rusev. Gonna be that guy, and it's not just because I'm a big Nakamura mark. Anyway, Nakamura says to Rusev, it's definitely your fault. You aren't gonna get over this because you know it as well. And that ended the segment. I feel like they could do a bit more with these. I'll be honest with you. These should be a hard-hitting, high-impact feud about the United States Championship, but instead, Lana takes the focus again, and that's as good as she is. It's a bit of a shame. That brings us to the main event of the evening, and what a main event it was. In one corner, we've got Carmella. Since turning face and being a bit comical with R-Truth, she has had a resurgence, and I actually quite like watching it now. She needs to get past this dance break thing. It's sort of run its course, but hey, she's on the up. In the other corner, we've got Charlotte, the Queen. She is on her way to the top again. She's determined to get that title back with this new attitude and a new kendo stick. Good for you, Charlotte. And in the third corner, we've got the man, Becky Lynch. She's pissed. She says she never lost the title. She wasn't pinned. That's a bit of a heel move. But apart from that, she wants her title shot against Asuka, and she is going to get it in this triple threat match. My God, it blew my socks off. Carmella had the advantage, then Charlotte had the advantage, then Becky had the advantage, then Charlotte again, then Carmella. Carmella got the code of silence on at one point. Charlotte made that look like a piece of piss at one point. There was moonsaults, there was missed moonsaults, there was natural selection from the second rope, there was Bexplodes on the outside. I could go on and on, but all I can do is implore you to go and watch this triple threat. And by the way, if you're here to get your results from me, go and watch the show, man. Anyway, the man did get the victory in the end, locking on the disarmer and making Carmella tap out to get her shot at Asuka. Asuka then came out carrying the belt in full regalia. She's back to her best. They stare down in the middle of the ring, shouting things at each other that the mic couldn't quite pick up, and that ended SmackDown Live. Now, this match was fantastic. I said that, I mean that. It was a brilliant match. Here is my problem. I really want Becky to enter the Royal Rumble and win and go and face Ronda Rousey. Putting Becky in the Rumble and having her win it and then going across to attack and challenge Rousey at Mania is the natural story. It builds on what happened before Survivor Series, it builds on what happened at Survivor Series, and it just makes so much sense, and storylines that make sense are the best. I'm all up for her regaining her title against Asuka, I really am, or at least having a dig. But I'm a traditionalist, and traditionally, if you've got a match on the card at the Rumble, you don't enter the Rumble. So I'm sorry, for me, now Becky can't enter the Rumble, which means we're probably going to get Charlotte winning it, we're probably going to get Charlotte and Rousey at Mania. I love Charlotte and I love Rousey, but that's not a match I want to see again, especially when the alternative, Becky Lynch and Rousey, that's so much better. That was SmackDown Live for the 8th of the That was SmackDown Live for the 8th of January 2019. And aside from my gripes with some storylines and some sort of iggling bits that annoyed me throughout the show, this was a very, very positive show. It is only a SmackDown. It's not going to get a very high grade because an A show is the best of the best. So we're going to give this a C+. There was nothing breathtaking in there to give it a B or an A, but it was far too good just to give a basic C. The matches were great. Storyline progression. Becky should be in the Rumble. That's all from me at the minute, guys. Thank you ever so much for joining me. If you could leave us a like down there, that would be appreciated, and maybe even hit that subscribe button. Maybe even share it with your friends so they can find out the glorious art of the 5 moves of doom. We'll be back later in the week to talk about some other stuff. Until then, see you later.